Hello Commanders, welcome back to the command table. I am Mathermar and we are proceeding with our journey walkthrough. We are on the second map in the Eldritch Mountains and we'll be doing the first 5 battles, 301 through 305. Before we get into that, please do like and subscribe, and if you want notifications when I drop new videos, be sure to hit that notification bell, and if you have any comments or questions, do leave those below. Let's dive right in. 301. Alright, for this one, we have a whole lot of ranged units at the back. Not very many bodies though. If there was a bunch of archers, it would be a lot to clear through, but since it's the arcane archers, it's going to go very quickly for this one group of assassins. I started the assassins here at the bottom so that they would burn through this clump quickly, and then they'll grab this straggler up at the top last. So a little more expeditious in clearing things out by starting them down here. The arcane blades, there are a lot of them. So I figured the best way to handle that was to keep them at arm's length so that they didn't end up blinking into my damage units that are recessed back behind. So I have these thorn guards that are well out in front, that are the closest thing to this Valkyrie that it can latch onto. And then I've put the Ember Fiend way in the back so that it doesn't get linked to the Valkyrie. All these units are going to converge on the Thorn Guards, and so long as one of them remains alive, which it should with the Valkyrie, the Arcane Blades are going to just be ping-ponging back and forth, hurting themselves on the Thorn Guards while the Draining Spirits suck the life out of them. Then I've got these Crystal Spires to attack them from a distance and hit 3 of them at a time, and that should about cover it. There may be some adjustments that need to be made on the spacing. Maybe the spires need to go just a little bit further back, as you'll see. The Faceless Knights do a medium range melee attack that is fairly troublesome. As you see, they take out the towers there. But having that Ember Fiend, it's very helpful for cleaning up whatever's left, even though my Crystal Spires went down. So yeah, feel free to make some changes on the placements. That would probably be helpful. Okay, 302. I've got a note on this one about moving this Valkyrie, so we'll get to that in a minute. First though, we've got 3 Cannoneers, we've got 3 Molten Armors, we've got a Phoenix, and an Earth Elemental. So the way that I decided to pursue this is there's a lot of fire in here between the Molten Armors and the Phoenix. I should be able to resolve all 3 of those Molten Armors with my bomb bots, but we still have to resolve this Phoenix. So instead of dedicating a set of assassins to take that out, I've put these Fire Knights up front, which are immune to the fire, and then I've got these Faceless Knights, which again, as you saw in the last battle, do kind of a medium to long range melee attack that stuns. So while the Earth Elemental is immune to stun, I'm not concerned about that. I'm using him to leapfrog the attack through the Earth Elemental to that Phoenix. So I've got it lined up to where they're going to send their attacks at that Phoenix and stun it. That'll buy some time for the assassins to take out this Cannoneer, and then they're going to move on to this one. I have these Wraiths recessed from the back, probably about 2/5 of the way from the front, in order to allow the bomb bots to clear out these Molten Armors, which should cause their pathing to take them all the way back to these Cannoneers, both on the top and the bottom. So that's the theory behind this one. I've got the Valkyrie there just to make sure that if one of the Faceless Knights does catch burn from the Phoenix, that it'll be able to keep it up. So here goes. Okay, Molten Armor's gone, 1 Cannoneer gone, the other 2 getting jacked by my Wraiths. And now the Phoenix, which wasn't able to get a whole heck of a lot done due to the stun, is cleaned up by the assassins. And from here on out, it's just a matter of letting the Faceless Knight and the whatever's left clean up that Phoenix. Alright, let's move on to 303. Okay, here we have... Oh, I need to make another point. Sorry to backtrack, my apologies. We totally forgot to cover that Valkyrie. I saw that note, so I'm glad we saw that. This Cannoneer, as you watch, will shoot a cannonball back that explodes near this Valkyrie. You can take this Valkyrie and move it up and away, and it'll still be able to link to the Faceless Knight. You may have to adjust the placement of the Wraiths, though. Presently, the Faceless Knights are the closest thing, so if you adjust these even further back, it's not going to hurt too much. There may be a couple more cannonball shots, but they should sail past that Valkyrie. So we'll just play that again real fast in the beginning. Watch this cannon shot. Boom, hits the Valkyrie and gets that second shot off. So again, not a super terrible thing because the Valkyrie survives and the cannoneer goes down, but you may want to adjust the positioning of the Valkyrie to avoid that. Okay, skipping ahead. 303. All right, here we go. So we have 2 Frost Wizards, a whole lot of Warhounds, and 2 Soul Pylons with some fortifications. So what I've done is I've bypassed the fortifications entirely, and I've taken my Assassins and split them in such a way that one will go to the Frost Wizard and the other will go to the Soul Pylon. So for 2 points, I'm able to take out 4. And then down here, same deal. These 2 are so close that I just put them, I believe, on the Frost Wizard, and then they'll move up to the Soul Pylon. You can achieve a different stance. I know we've covered this several times, but if you're watching this video in the series as the first one, you can take your Assassins, move them off into your inventory and let go, pick them up again and bring them back in, and they'll have a different orientation. Sometimes they'll be diagonal, sometimes they'll be up, down, sometimes they'll be forward, backward. You go until you get them in the orientation that you want to be able to provide an easy split for wherever you're sending them. So it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes you have to do it a dozen times or so, but you will ultimately get it in the orientation that you want. The Hounds I am resolving by putting a Draining Spirit and Thorn Guards, and that's going to do the vast majority of the work because they're going to burn down so quickly. I've got the Battle Drummer tagged onto the Crystal Spire so that it's not in the radius of the Draining Spirit, but the radius of the Drummer does encompass the Thorn Guards. The Crystal Spire is there to anchor the Battle Drummer, and it will provide some additional DPS, and the Valkyrie is there to keep at least 1 Thorn Guard alive. So that's the theory behind that one. Let's go ahead and run it. It goes down very fast, so it's hard to explain while it's running because it's over so fast. So there's that one. Let's move on to 304. Okay, 304. Okay, here, this one was challenging. It took me a couple times to get it sorted out. I was initially trying to take out that Stormcaller with some Assassins, and there's just too many other units there that it's hard to get them to lock onto it with all the RNG and where things path. So instead, I just put a Barrier Monk in there, and that's going to enable this little squad here to roll right through. The Untamed Beasts are both going to gravitate to this one bomb bot, and usually they both get taken out. I don't think that happens in this one. I think one of them manages to survive, but it's very easy for my squad here with the Battle Drummer reducing the melee damage, the Paladin keeping everything healed, to get those Untamed Beasts down because they're not able to kill anything to regain health. So this squad is just going to roll right through, clean up that Untamed Beasts, then it's going to run into all these Arcane Blades, and it just takes a little bit of time to work them down, but I don't think I lose anything. I might, but I don't recall if I lost anything at all. The Arcane Archers do very little damage until you get to Frenzy, so not terribly concerned about them to begin with. The Paladin is going to keep all of my Hammer Throwers, which are some of the lower HP units out of this whole group. The Paladin's going to keep them topped off, and the Arcane Archers aren't going to be a factor, so they're just going to be cleanup towards the end. The Crystal Spires, again with my Paladin, it's not going to matter much. We're just going to push right through, and the Barrier Monk should pop back up by about that time. So it's just a matter of sustaining and eliminating one element at a time. There goes the Beasts. Now we're working on the Arcane Blades. It's just going to take a couple seconds to get them through the meat grinder. Then we move on to the Stormcaller and onto the back. Okay, you'll notice 1 blue skull, 2 blue skulls. Okay, 3. So I lost 3 units out of that entire mess, and then you look at all the brown skulls. That's all enemy skulls. They're all dead. So if you weren't aware of that, that's what those skulls mean. If they're blue, they're yours. If they're brown, they're the enemies. Okay, so that was an easy way to tell how well we performed against that group. All right, now this one. Now, I understand some of you may not even be to rank 16 at this point, and I think actually Phoenix comes in at 15. But I have a level 3 Phoenix, which shouldn't be terribly difficult to get. You're ultimately not concerned with the level of the Phoenix. I mean, so long as it stays alive, which it doesn't seem to have too much trouble since it has more health at level 3 than I think the hammer throwers. So what I'm trying to accomplish here is if you do have the Phoenix, if not, you can try an Ember Fiend, but it won't receive the heal from the Paladin. But the Phoenix is there to provide a area of effect burn damage on all of these units. The Wraiths are immune to things like freeze, and they are not immune to fire. So the moment the first one is visible, that Phoenix is going to send out a gust, making the rest of them visible, and that's going to enable me to get attacks off faster, and they'll be going down in health with that burn. That should also work very well on these brutes because the burn is a percentage based, and we don't have to worry about doing sustained damage on them because the burn will keep ticking down. When these Risen Warriors, all 2, 4, 6, 8 of them, pop up behind, the hammer throwers are going to be able to hold that line because there's a battle drummer there mitigating all of that physical damage, and the paladin replacing any damage that's done. So, I mean, when you look at this entire group, every single thing in there is melee. So the first thing you should think of is battle drummer. Like, that's the first thing you should go to is battle drummer, battle drummer, battle drummer. Okay, so my high health units in the front are going to be able to hold that line, allow time to get a couple gusts of the fire off, then everything else is going to pop up, and the Phoenix is going to turn around as well as everything else and start working on that. So, lengthy explanation, but you'll kind of see how it works. Again, the Phoenix is only level 3. We're not concerned about the raw damage that the Phoenix does. We're more interested in applying that burn. Look at all those units getting hit with burn. And the Phoenix does get the heal from the Paladin because it's a nature unit, as opposed to the Ember Fiend, which would not because it is chaos. There it goes. So, yeah, again, if you don't have those units, I'm afraid we might have to come up with an alternative for you, but that seemed to work very well, so very pleased with that. Thank you for watching. We'll get to the next 5 videos, or 5 battles very soon. Please do like and subscribe, and check out thecommandtable.com, where we have tutorials, raid strats, and in the near future, we will have merchandise and a comic strip. Thanks for watching. We'll have more for you soon.